Hi everyone, from me, Brent Graham. Welcome to the Stage 19 betting preview of the Tour de France. Well, we're almost in Paris, aren't we? Just 2 stages to go after this one. And I must admit, I feel a bit Tour de France weary. Absolutely enjoyed the race, but gee, I've leaked some cash with only a couple of winners over the 2.5 weeks so far. The beauty about this race, though, there's always a chance to get out of it. And when you see the prices that I'm going to put up today, you'll know that if I can just hit one of them, this Tour de France will be a success for me. Anyways, let's move on, though. And first of all, chat about what happened yesterday. And it was that man again. Gee whiz, he didn't want to let the stage go. He got his team working early to keep the break in check. And at the end of the day, he was just too strong for the other 2 strong men in the race, Vingegaard and Carapaz. Yes, Tadej Pogačar, he was the victor there, and in so doing also wrapped up the King of the Mountains jersey. A bit disappointing for me that I had Wout Poels at 8-1, and I could see Poels looked absolutely heartbroken as he drove over the line. I guess the upsetting thing for Poels as well is he's got to wear the jersey into Paris because Pogačar's got the yellow jersey, so it can't be pleasant to wear a jersey into Paris, but at the same time not actually have that jersey on the podium. Anyway, it's a great ride by him. It was a good hard-ridden stage. The only thing we could look at this Tour de France and say is, what if a Roger had stayed in? We might have got a lot more GC action. That's been the only disappointment. Aside from that, the stages themselves have been very, very good to watch in general. Lots of attacking racing. And let's move on now then. I'm not going to spend too much time on the classifications because at the end of the day, the points has been wrapped up by Cavendish, the climb has been wrapped up by Pogačar, and the team has been wrapped up by Baarle. So we won't focus on that betting. We'll go straight onto the stage and let's have a look at the profile. Stage 19. Now, Mark Cavendish is equal with Merckx's record at the moment in the Tour de France. There's 2 chances left for him to beat that record. The obvious chances, of course, on Sunday on the Champs-Élysées, where no doubt we will have a sprint finish. But at the same time, today's 19th stage is also one when you look at the profile that suggests it would be a sprint finish. In fact, if this was stage 3 or 4 of the race, it would basically be nailed on as a sprint finish. But in stage 19, we've got different scenarios. Some of the sprinters have left the race already, less teams to chase. Also, we've got plenty of teams in this race that haven't won a stage yet. They need to do something. And let's face it, taking Cavendish to a sprint finish isn't the way to win a stage if you're one of the other teams. So there's going to be plenty of action trying to get into the break. And that break is going to be all important today. What sort of break are we going to get? Well, you see here, you've got a Cat 4 climb, certainly not that tough, 1.9 kilometers at 5.3%. But that comes early in the stage. It could be a good launch pad for a break to get away. And then after that, you've got a little bit of rolling sort of road. And that's the type of road where a break is not necessarily that easy to control. So I guess from Cavendish's quick step point of view, the ideal situation is that a break goes early and that it's a pretty weak break. But I don't see that happening today. I don't think the other teams are going to sit back and allow that. The only other team that would really want to work for a bunch sprint would be Alpecin Phoenix for Philipsen. No, I think we're going to get a hell of a battle for this. And I think we might just get a scenario where Quick-Step eventually say, well, let's just get someone in the break, someone like a Julian Alaphilippe or someone actually gets in there. And we'll go along. Also interesting to see how Bike Exchange play things because Matthews has closed the gap quite a bit on Cavendish in the sprint standings. And if he could bag 20 points without Cavendish getting any, he'll certainly, at least get Cavendish looking over his shoulder a little bit there. So we'll see how they play it. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to get quite a big, strong break going away. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a quick-step rider in it. And for me, that this stage is actually going to be one that goes to the breakaway, which is quite interesting when we look at the betting. And I'll pop over to World Sports Betting here. Reminder that they've got their money back for second place promotion. So if you do fancy a Cavendish, for example, back him at 60-10. If it gets pipped into second place, you will get your bucks back in the form of free bets there. But let's have a look at this. Cavendish 16-10. Yes, if it comes to a sprint finish, he's absolutely nailed on. In fact, this betting probably accurately reflects the fact that the sprint has certainly got a chance, but so has the breakaway. Because if this was a nailed-on sprint, Cavendish would be about 5-6-10, I think. Anyway, he's 16-10 there. He's come out of the mountains pretty well. But gee, it would be hard work if we go back to the stage again. It's 207 kilometers. He's got a team that is now tired. They've worked to get him through the mountains. I don't know, to control the stage, unless they get a lot of help from Alpecin, for example, it's going to be very, very tough. So I think we're going to have the break, which means I'm brassing Cavendish at 16-10. I also think, wouldn't it be great for him to break the record on the Champs-Élysées on Sunday? No guarantees of that, of course, but that's how I see things playing out. Philipsen 7-1, Wout van Aert 14-1. He'll probably be saving himself surely for the time trial. Well, I'm skipping straight over him. He's cost me a fortune. I do like Ivan Garcia Cortina. I think he could also get into the break, and he's got a decent sprint finish. But let's go down. In fact, let's go down until we find some of my selections. So the first selection I'm going for actually is Jasper Stuyven. You can get 28-1 about Stuyven. I just want to pop onto Sunbet here. You have 28-1 about Jasper Stuyven. So he's the first one. So there's a possibility he could sprint for his team, but I think once again we're looking for someone here who might get into the break, and I think his team could put him in the break there. This is Chris Sturdy's pick on the Good for the Game preview, and I know Chris at this stage of the tour normally likes to pop up with a winner, so yeah, I'll be following him on this one. The next one in the betting, big price here we're talking, and now we start getting into my big prices. I'm just going to scan down till we get him here, and it's the man who got into the break, was it yesterday he was in the break? He's been in a couple of breaks this week. He's very much a sprinter, classics rider. And if he can make the break, he must have a decent chance of finishing it. I'm going a quarter unit here on Turgis at 80-1. Then this one, pure price alone, a man I think could get into the break. I'm going a quarter unit here on Juul Jensen, who's looked pretty strong from what I've seen of him in the last week or so. I'm going for him at 150-1, and he's the first of 350-1 shots. I'm only investing 1.75 units in this. Let's just go down and find him here. Oh, did I see it here? Here we go. Christopher Juul Jensen at 150-1. I'm only investing 1.75 units. In fact, I've already seen the guy I forgot to put in. So I'm quickly going to write that banner while I'm talking to you. But I see him there, and it's also going to be a quarter unit. So while you've got the 150-1 shots up there, you can see Dylan van Baarle from Sky. He is from Ineos. He's going to be my next one. I won't bother typing this banner here. It's going to take me too long. Right. So we got Juul Jensen there. Let's have a look. The next one I've got is Aranburu. Now, Aranburu, I don't know. If he can make the break, he can do it. He's got a good sprint finish. He was in the break the other day when I had him at 50-1. He hasn't really impressed with his strength. This is not the toughest stage, and Astana will surely be looking to do something here. So Aranburu at 150-1. I'm going half a unit on Van Baarle at 150-1. I've just got a good feeling about this guy. I've got a feeling that Van Baarle is going to do the. I've got a feeling he's going to get into the break. And I mean, he made good money for me in one of the classic races earlier this season, or one of the one-day races. I can't remember which one it was now, and he broke away solo and won nicely. And this is the kind of thing I could see him doing again. Chris Sturdy pointed out to me he was first to drop off the Sky train, or the Ineos train, I keep calling it Sky this morning, yesterday. And it might be a sign of bad legs, but it might also be a sign that he's targeting the breakaway today. So let's hope for the latter there. Then let me type up that final selection. It's just above him there, and I'll go quarter unit, 0.25 unit. And the Skeins, and this is the strangest spelling, so I'm going to have to concentrate here. UJINS at 150-1. Right, well, that's my other one. I was very impressed with him the other day in the break as well, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him get into a big breakaway, and he certainly looks like he could have the legs to finish it. Just a quick glance at the end of the stage. There's a few rolling hills here as well, so if we do get a big break, I expect that we'll get some late attacks here, and possibly a solo rider riding to the finish. I just want to pop to Sunbet and see if they've got the odds on the winning margin, which they normally have. 1 second or less is 11-50, and 2 seconds or more is 11-4. I'll give that a bit of thought during the day. Perhaps the 11-4, 2 seconds or more, and perhaps I should take this. Well, I should have just taken the banner down, but I'll lift that up a little bit so you can see. But yeah, that's it, I think, for this stage. So anyway, we've just got 2 more stages to go. Look forward to seeing you in stage 20 for the time trial. Of course, the GC is wrapped up, but we can at least get some action amongst the top 10, and we'll see if we can find a stage winner. Enjoy the stage, and we'll see you for stage 20.